Alright, what is going on YouTube? Adonis coming back at you with a brand new video, and today we are going to be doing my first Budget Beasts video of the year here on College Football 25 Ultimate Team. I am recording this the day that it is coming out, so I hope you guys are having a fantastic Saturday. It is nice and sunny here in sunny California, of course it is. Right, so let's go ahead and dive into it, starting with the quarterbacks, right? And I want to explain to you guys, like, how do I deem something budget or not budget? Well, we have two tiers, actually. I consider budget to be generally anything under 100,000. 100K coins, generally speaking, is fairly, like, easy to get. I wouldn't say it's, like, the easiest, but it's, like, decently easy to get. And with 100,000 coins, generally speaking, you can get very solid players, but you're not going to be getting the top tier Kinshawn Judkins, right? Any of those crazy type of players. So the two tiers that we have, one is from 0 to 50K, which is going to be like the true budget beast that you guys are probably looking for. And then if you do have a couple of more coins, we've also got a 50 to 100,000 coin range that we're going to be going through. So let's go ahead and start off with quarterbacks. For quarterbacks, we have 3 quarterbacks within the 0 to 50K range. First and foremost is going to be KJ Jefferson. This quarterback is like pretty solid, I would say, right? He's an 81 speed, 6'3", 247 pound quarterback. Was previously at Arkansas, now at UCF. Very mobile guy, right? Like, his throwing stats are definitely very solid. Like, definitely not a bad card to pick up if you're gonna be planning on rolling out of the pocket a little bit, right? Maybe getting on the run. So KJ Jefferson is our first pick at quarterback. Our second pick is going to be Garrett Green. I'm sure you guys came up against this guy, but he also has 82 speed, right? So he's actually a little bit faster even. And then he's got some pretty solid throwing stats, right? I think Garrett Green, honestly, if you've got around 45 to 50K is a very solid option to go ahead and pick up. He's a little bit smaller, sitting at 5'11", 201, so he might be a little bit more prone to fumbling, things of that nature, but very good quarterback. Came up against him a lot in champs, a lot in just head-to-head. So, I mean, definitely two very viable options. The third one that I had on my list that I cannot see right now is Shedeur Sanders. So he's actually in that 50 to 100K range, but he's, you know, he's kind of straddling that line. Shedeur, right? 6'2", 215. He's got some pretty solid stats. He's a little bit lower on the speed side, so again, not going to be that mobile, but I do think Shedeur is a very good quarterback to have. He also gets that pro style chemistry, right? Which I feel like a lot of people might be rocking as we kind of get towards having more coins to be able to throw into chemistries. So Shedeur is my third pick for the budget beasts at 0 to 50K range. And then from 50 to 100K, honestly, I mean, Cam Rising is kind of going to be your guy. There's one other card that we're going to look at, but Cam Rising, 77 speed, but his throw power, his accuracies are absolutely insane. And to get all of this for like 85 to 90K, I think is an absolute steal at this point in the year. For me, I'm not picking up any of these guys because I am going ahead and rocking with Will Howard. So like, keep that in mind, right? Like, if you are going to pay for a quarterback, make sure it's exactly what you want. Cam Rising, absolute cannon on him. Decently mobile as well. So I mean, definitely a good option at that 50 to 100K price point. And then we've also got Quinn Ewers here. He's sitting right now between like 75 and 90K. Honestly, there's a big spread that I've seen on him, but 75 speed, 83 throw power, right? 82 short, 84 medium, 83 deep, like very solid card for this point in the year. Again, if it were between Quinn and Rising and I had to save 5,000 up more for Rising, I would probably do that. But Quinn is definitely not a bad option here at that kind of 75 to 90,000 coin price point. All right, now we get going on the running backs. Running backs, we've got 3 choices. 2 of them are the same player, just one overall difference. One of them is going to be Marshall Faulk, right? The 82 speed on an 82 card, right? With 82 change of direction, being like decently big at like 5'10", 211 is what really matters, right? Like, solid card for a, you know, 20 something K. You know, if you really need a RB2, definitely not a bad option. Amari Daniels is another one that we have here. 82 speed, 82 change of direction, right? A little bit lighter. Probably going to be a little bit more of a receiving back, honestly, but still a very solid card for, again, you're paying like 28K for him. Like, definitely not a bad option. And then if you can afford it, I would say 83 Marshall Faulk. Again, he's going to go up to 50K from the 82, which was like 25K, but he's got 83 speed. He essentially gets a +1 to everything, right? So 83 speed, 83 change of direction. Having a running back with 83 plus speed this year is pretty nice. And it's, I would say, a little bit rare at this point. So 83 Marshall Faulk, if you are are going to spend out a little bit more coins and maybe parlay that into finishing his set out, right? Like definitely not a bad option. And then for our 50 to 100K range, Jordan James was like straddling this. So I went ahead and put him in here, but he is actually at 49K technically. But 82 speed, 82 change of direction with 83 trucking and 81 break tackle. I've seen so many people rocking this card. I personally have not used him because I have Nick Singleton. I think Nick Singleton's like, again, one of the best free cards in the game. But Jordan James, definitely not someone to shy away from. Like a very solid card that I've, again, come up against quite a bit. So, I mean, he's our first entry on the 50 to 100K range. And then we also have Katron Allen here. He was a little bit lower when I, again, was like making this list out yesterday. It's in at 114K, so slightly higher budget. But I mean, this dude looks absolutely nuts. 82 speed with 83 truck, 84 break tackle, 5'11", 225 is huge for a running back, right? With that like 83 change of direction, man, definitely not a bad option. A little low on the speed side, but if you want a big old bruising back that's gonna break tackles, this guy will be your man. Again, if you're looking to pay a little bit more in terms of coins, again, sitting right now at about 114K. I think the market's come up a little bit since I made this list yesterday, but still a very, very solid option. And then we've also got Phil Maffa, usually sitting between, I would say, I don't know, 75K-ish to like 80K. Right now he's like close to 88K, right? 81 speed on him for an 84 is kind of crazy, but 82 truck, 82 break tackle with 82 change of direction at 6'1", 230. He is a huge back. If you guys watch college football, you know this guy is absolutely massive. Definitely not a player to shy away from. Very, very fun. I would suggest picking him up again if you are looking. Again, it's kind of between like Jordan James is the lower end of this range, right? Katron Allen's the super high end range, and then Phil Maffa's right in the middle. He's not going to be breaking stuff for super long runs with 81 speed, but you bet your ass he's going to be going through defenders, especially if he gets into the secondary. Very solid card to have. So now we come to wide receivers. We've got 3 in the 0 to 50K range, 3 in the 50 to 100K range. Eugene Wilson is going to be our first pick, right? 82 receiver, right? 82 overall, 82 speed. His route runnings are all above 80, which is a good sign in my book. 5'10", 181, definitely going to be a little bit more of a smaller slot guy, but definitely someone for 20K that can like bump your team up instantly if you're rocking like a 79 or an 80 or even an 81. Very solid with that 82 speed and those route runnings. The other card we have here, as I'm sure none of you are surprised, Jerwan Newton, right? 82 speed, 83 short, 82 medium, 80 deep route running, right? Again, pretty decent speed, but his route running is like makes this card special. Being 5'11" is like, I mean, a little bit on the smaller side, but if you get the ball in this guy's hands, like he can absolutely fly. Like his 82 speed in game feels like 84 speed. Legit receiver. Very much so towards the top end of this range, right? Sitting at 48K, but a very solid card to get. We also have Dion Burks, again, was a little bit lower when I made this list yesterday, but 82s across the board on a receiver is actually insane to see. So he's got 82 speed, 82 jump, 82 catch, 82 catch in traffic, 82 spec catch, 82 short, 82 medium, and 82 deep route runnings. A little bit small, 5'2", 189, but I mean, this card is phenomenal. I've come up against him a couple of times. Very solid. Would certainly suggest giving this card a try. Again, sitting at 51K right now, I would say a good price for him would be between 40 and 48K, and that's definitely a good card to pull the trigger on at that price point. So now moving to the 50 to 100K range for wide receivers, we've got 3 that I want to go over. First one is going to be Caden Prather out of Maryland. 6'3", 210, big ol' receiver, 82s across the board. Very solid, coming in around 84,000 coins. So again, higher end, but 6'3", 210 with all 82s. Just makes him like a bigger Jerwan Newton. And as we know, Jerwan Newton is one of the better cards in the game at this point. And then we've got Coy Eakin coming in down here. He's only 50K for an 83 overall, right? With, again, pretty much straight 82s across the board. His deep route running is not very good. This guy's definitely going to be more of a slot receiver for you. But 6'2", 210, pretty decent size with 82 speed, ability to run underneath routes exceptionally well. Very solid card for 50K. And then also coming in actually a little bit under 50K even, we've got Jordan Moore. who is, again, 82s across the board, 6'1", 195. That's what you're gonna kind of see with these, like going from like 0 to 50K receivers, right? Some of them have really good speed, but then their other attributes are not very good. But then as you get towards the 83 to the 84s potentially, right? That's when you're gonna be able to see those like straight 82s across the board, right? Really solid, well-rounded receivers. So moving on to the tight ends, first and foremost, we got Ben Brahmer. Not the 80 overall though, man. That card is dreadful. The 82, actually, funnily enough, very solid card. 6'7", 240 pounds with 79 speed. Definitely like a big, just throw it up type of guy. Definitely think this is a good card to add to the team for like 20 something K, right? His run blocking is not exceptional, but he is just so big. It's like, why not just have a guy you can just kind of aggressive catch, right? Definitely recommend this card for anybody who's looking for a big tight end. Then we have Kamorian Pimpton out of LSU. He's 6'6", 242, but he's got 81 speed, right? His medium route running and short route running are kind of just whatever. But like, if you want a well-rounded tight end that's gonna go down the field, standing at 6'6", definitely not a bad player to go ahead and get. His break tackle is only a 72, so I don't really expect to break a lot of stuff with him, but definitely a good card to just eat up some ground, especially when you're like, when he's maybe manned up by a linebacker. I think that's when he'll be most effective. Definitely recommend him. Again, for like 24K, yeah, absolutely go get this guy. And then a lot of you guys probably saw my gameplay yesterday where I got torched by this guy. Originally had him in the 0 to 50K range, right? But right now he's sitting at 61K. That's a bit expensive for him. I think he like usually sits, from what I saw, it was around like 40 to 50K, right? Landon King out of University of Utah, 6'5" with 83 speed for like 40 or 50K. That is a steal. Absolutely go get this guy if you can find him at that price point, and you should be able to. Definitely recommend him. He's huge, right? 6'5" is massive, right? And then also has the speed to just get away from people, which is obviously really nice to have. So that's gonna be it for the tight ends. Now moving on to the defensive side of the ball, not doing offensive linemen, right? Just get whoever you want. It doesn't really matter. They all play the same. First one for left end is Landon King, 82 power moves with 80 block shed, standing at 6'5", 275. Definitely a solid power rusher. Will definitely shed well against the run as well, which is really nice. For 29K, yeah, sign me up, man. 83 overall for 29K. That is a steal. We've also got potentially my favorite card in the game, Chad Stevens. An 81 overall left end. Now, I can't point you to his attributes and tell you why this card plays well. If you have watched any of my videos on my No Money Spent squad, you will know this guy gets at the quarterback more than like 85 Joey Bosa or like 85 Jonathan Jefferson. Literally don't know what it is about this card. Plays exceptionally well for like 9 or 10K. Go pick him up, try him out, right? If you don't like him, sell him back. It's literally a like nominal amount. It doesn't matter. It's 9K, you'll be fine. Try this card out though. Put him at defensive tackle. I promise you, he gets after the quarterback so well. For our 50 to 100K range, we've got Devon Hayes coming in at 90K. Pretty like steep price, I would say. 6'3", 260. But he's got really good block shed, got very solid finesse moves and power moves. Like, power moves obviously is better than finesse moves, but I mean, 77 is still workable. The only thing is he is a run stopper, so I'm not sure if that limits, right, like how good he is at getting to the quarterback. But if you wanted to plug this guy in at defensive tackle, I'm sure he would go to work for you. Like, for 90K for these stats, I think this is a steal in my opinion. The other one that we have is Elijah Roberts, right? 77 speed, coming in at 6'4", 278. 80 block shed, 83 power moves, and 81 finesse moves, right? Like, this guy will definitely be getting after the quarterback. He's a power rusher, but he's also got finesse moves, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if he's able to utilize a swim move or a spin move or something like that, aside of just the bull rush move that we usually see from power rushers. Definitely recommend picking this guy up, coming in at 90K. And if it was between Roberts and Hayes, I would honestly probably go Roberts, just based off of being bigger and faster and having, like, better finesse moves if you want to get at the quarterback. I think Roberts would probably be a great plug and play outside rusher, right, or even defensive tackle. Moving over to right end for the 0 to 50K range, we got Ben Bell, 6'2", 250, 80 finesse moves. I'm sure a lot of you guys use this card. He played extremely well for me. He's like 13K, 12K. Like, go buy this card. Very good. And I'm going to be honest with you. I like Ben Bell so much. He's so nice. we had to put him twice. He is actually also on our 50 to 100K spot. For this 90 overall, I do have this card in my team. Plays exceptionally well, very fast, pretty decently sized, right? With very good finesse moves and power moves. Very, very good at getting at the quarterback. Also wears number 33, which is a cold number to have in game on a defensive lineman. For the 0 to 50K range at right end, we also have Princely Umanmelian. Think I pronounced that right? This dude's a dog. 83 overall with 82 speed and 82 finesse moves. The definition of a speed rusher, but also very speedy himself with 82 speed. Definitely recommend giving this card a shot. And then we've got Deshaun Holt from the Toledo. They're not the Zips. Toledo Rockets. Oh God, that's embarrassing. Anyways, we got Deshaun Holt, 80 speed, 82 finesse moves with decent enough power moves. I don't think he would use them, but he's also 6'5", 242, so like a pretty decent sized edge rusher, right? Definitely recommend this guy. For the 50 to 100K range, obviously, right? Already got Ben Bell, Jonathan Jefferson in there as well. 80 speed, 86 power moves, 83 block shed. He doesn't get in on the quarterback as much as you would like. If you have him at edge, put him at defensive tackle, it's a different story. It's really, really interesting the way that it works this year. I really liked Jonathan Jefferson, especially once I started moving him to DT, and I would recommend you guys kind of have that same plan for him as well. He will get off the block against the run, very solid interior pass rusher, but from an outside like edge spot, not as good. I will say that, not as good, but still very solid card. And then we've also got Aiden Huntington coming in. He is a power rusher with 85 power moves at 6'1", 281. He's only got 75 speed, so again, another guy I would probably recommend plays on the interior of your D-line, but 85 power moves with 82 block shed is insane, with 85 strength as well. Like, this card is a beast on the interior of the defensive line, and I definitely recommend you guys give him a shot. So at defensive tackle, our first guy we have is going to be 82 Booger McFarland. Solid card, right? Nothing crazy, nothing special. The second card will also be 83 Booger McFarland. Depends just how much do you want to spend, right? I think the 83, like being, I don't know, like 16K more, 15K more, I'd probably buy the 83. And then obviously you're still pretty far removed from the 85 at that point. And then we also have our other guy who is an absolute dog and his name goes crazy. It's going to be Nazir Stackhouse. Really, really think this card is probably pretty good. Okay, also, was not that expensive yesterday. This is the 0 to 50K range. Was not that expensive yesterday. I would not pay that much for him, but he's 6'3", 320. 82 block shed and 82 power moves is very, very solid for an interior defensive lineman. Very slow, so do not expect him to get after the quarterback with any urgency at all. But again, solid plug and play, plop him in the middle. Dude's big. He's going to take up a lot of space, right? Our next one that we have is Josh Farmer, who I think is a really interesting card, right? Kind of starting to get the DeForest Buckner archetype a little bit, where he's a speed rusher at DT, and I always tell people speed rushers at defensive tackle are very, very rare, and if they are good, very, very good to get, right? Because it creates pressure from a different avenue. Usually people are used to it from the edge. With these guys, it can be from up the middle. Right, so 81 block shed, 79 power moves, 83 finesse moves on a card that is sitting at like 52K. So worth it. So worth it. Definitely give this guy a shot. The other DT that we have is also a speed rusher. Big dog Shamar Turner. 6'4", 290 with 82 block shed, 83 power moves, or finesse moves, my apologies. I think he's probably maybe a little bit better potentially than Farmer. Right? But I would honestly, what I would do, and when I was looking at these two guys, I was like, I would just buy both Turner and Farmer to have on my interior defensive line. Like, that would be crazy to have two speed rushing defensive tackles, right? That are still pretty big, right? And can get off blocks decently well with that 82 block shed, right? But like, that would be crazy to have both of these guys. A bundle of those two for like 100K total, I think would be game changing for a lot of folks' teams. And so that's why I'm recommending Turner and Farmer at the DT spot. All right, moving on to linebackers. This guy, right, obviously going to be expensive because he is a platinum version of a player. But Steven Linton comes in with 77 speed, 81 finesse moves at 6'5", 239. Generally speaking, this card sits between 20 and 30K. I think it's a great pickup for someone that gets 81 finesse moves at that size with that speed, right? Definitely a good card to add to your team. At the 0 to 50K price point, we also have Jamil Muhammad. This card is not usually 65K, right? But comes in with 82 power moves, 78 speed. He's a little bit smaller, right? 6'1", but 255 is definitely solid. He's got decent strength, right? His play rec is pretty solid. Definitely a solid card to add to your team. And then for our last 0 to 50K player, we've got Cam Robertson, right? 76 speed with 82 finesse moves at 6'4", 237. Again, these guys aren't going to be the fastest, but I mean, 6'4", 237 with 82 finesse moves is definitely a solid card. Then at the 50 to 100K price point, we've got Wayne Woodaz. 82 speed, 6'3", 230. This guy is much more of a user type of linebacker. You're really not going to want him even run stopping. I would definitely just user this guy. 6'3", 230 at 82 speed is pretty solid for a user. His change of direction is an 81 as well. So again, very solid user card, coming in at about 54K. Definitely recommend picking this guy up. We also have Kyle Kennard coming in. This dude looks insane. 6'5", 240, 80 power moves, 82 finesse moves, 81 speed. Like, you could user this card. You could let him just get after the quarterback. This card looks absolutely insane. For 55K too, feels like a steal. His change of direction is a 71, so maybe would lean away from him being a user, but definitely like a very strong card for 55K, man. Then we have Sonny Styles coming in at about 61,000 coins. This card looks nuts, right? 82 speed, 6'4", 235, decent block shed, iffy, like, I mean, not decent, but iffy block shed, iffy power moves, definitely more of a user. 81 change of direction at 6'4" is crazy for 60, like 1K. That's nuts, man. Coming in at right outside linebacker now, we've got Jackson Woodard, 78 speed, right? Pretty solid, 6'3", 230. Again, gonna be a little bit more of a user option than anything else, but for 13K, man, that is usually what he sells for. That is kind of crazy. Definitely recommend this guy if you were looking for a true budget user. 6'3", 230 is very solid. Then we've got Jalen Sneed, right? Very solid card. Let's look at what he usually sells for, about 20K, it looks like. It has very high utilization, 80 speed, 6'1", 77 change of direction. Again, definitely more of a user type of card, but pretty solid, man. Pretty solid nonetheless. Then we've got Chandler Martin coming in at around 32,000 coins. 79 speed, 79 finesse moves is pretty solid. 6', 215, right? 78 change of direction. So this guy's kind of a hybrid. You could either user him or you could just let him run at the quarterback. Definitely on the smaller side, but I do notice that the smaller players, like in terms of height sometimes this year, they do play decently well. So I would definitely recommend giving this guy a shot. Again, 30K, kind of just a drop in the bucket, really not all that much. Definitely recommend giving him a shot. Moving to the 50 to 100K range, we've got Anthony Hill Jr. coming in at 82 speed with decent power moves, 6'3", 243, 78 change of direction. Again, a user linebacker. This guy's pretty expensive. Gets towards the top end of that range. So it kind of just depends if you saw enough of what you liked out of the left outside linebacker users, right? Or the other right outside linebacker users. But if you want to shot a little bit more, he's pretty big, right? Decent power moves. You could honestly probably just let him try and run at the quarterback. But yeah, definitely a solid option. Then we've got Jacob Manu coming in with 79 block shed, but 80 finesse moves, 82 speed, a little bit small, right? 5'11", 225, 78 change of direction. So could be a user again, could just let him run at the quarterback, but a pretty good run stopping outside linebacker at this point in the year. In terms of pricing, he does come in pretty expensive towards that 96,000 coin range. So again, it's like, do you want a true user? Do you want a rush guy? You might opt for a different player than him, but if you want a hybrid where you might not be on him every single play, definitely a good option. Then we've got CJ Hicks coming in, definitely going to be more of a user card, but 6'3", 233, 82 speed, 79 change of direction. Another user, man. A lot of these outside linebackers are going to be users or just pure run stoppers, right? Whereas the left end, right end defensive tackles are going to be more of your pass rush guys. CJ Hicks, though, 6'3", 233 with 82 speed seems insane. I should also add, CJ Hicks like is only 58K, so like a big price drop from those other two guys that we just looked at. So if you want a true user, Hicks might be the way to go. Then we have our middle linebackers, 0 to 50K, big dog Martavius French. He's my user. I love this card. I think he's very solid. 79 speed, 6'3". His change of direction is a little bit low, but this guy plays exceptionally well. Very much like this card. at like 20K as well. Kind of a steal. At 20K as well, we've got Cade Ulauve, right? 81 speed, 6'1", 240, decent hit power, right? Look at that, 82. 82 change of direction is the big thing on this card, right? Gonna be a little bit smaller than Martavius French, but gonna turn very, very well. Very solid user option at middle linebacker. For our last spot, we've got Sammy Brown coming in at about 33,000 coins, 6'2", 82 hit power, 81 change of direction, 82 speed. Sammy Brown, very, very, very solid option, right? Especially with that change of direction and that speed. Got decent height as well, gonna hit well, has decent block shed, will be able to defend the run pretty well. For 33K, kind of a steal. Then we've got Eric Kendricks at the 50 to 100K range, 83 speed with 80 change of direction, right? A little bit of a dated card now, but he's coming in pretty low. I've seen between like 70 and 90K. I think that's still a steal for this card, especially with 83 zone. You can just leave him alone, let him do his thing. Very, very, very solid option this early in the year. Then coming in a little bit towards the top of the range, this guy's gonna be about in the like 90 to 100K range. Lander Barton, 6'4", 236, 83 speed, 78 zone, 76 change of direction. Right? A little bit slower in terms of change of direction, but my goodness, man, 6'4", with hit power, decent-ish block shed, right? Really good play rec. I mean, this guy's got to be pretty solid, right? 6'4" in and of itself on a card is great, and then 83 speed can kind of hang with anybody at this point in the year outside of like Kinchan Judkins and Luther Burden and those guys, right? Then we've got this 82 Maxwell Hairston at cornerback for the 0 to 50K range, right? 81 speed, 6'1", 82 zone. A lot of people running zone this early in the year. I think is a very, very solid plug and play option. Coming in at about 24K, we've got Dante Balfour. Again, like pretty solid, even though he's just man-to-man. He does have 80 zone, so like he will be able to play zone pretty well. 81 speed, 81 man, right? He's also 6'2", which is very solid. A lot of people having trouble defending those tight ends, right? Because they're a little bit taller. Balfour is a good, I wouldn't say tight end eraser, but he can match up with tight ends pretty well. Then coming in at about 39K, we got Anthony Johnson Jr., 82 speed, 81 man, and 82 zone on a zone card. Again, a little bit smaller, 5'10", 180, but 82 speed. He can hang with a lot of people for only like 39, 40K. Also has good man and zone, so you can either play man or zone, right? I think it's really important to have players that have both good man and zone. Right, Anthony Johnson Jr. is the last pick for the 0 to 50K range with the cornerbacks. Then we've got TJ Crandall. I know a lot of people like this card a lot, coming in close to the 70,000 mark, right? 83 speed, 83 man, and zone at 6 foot. Very, very, very solid budget option at this point in the year. Like, I mean, again, very, very good card, right? But coming in actually a little bit under 50K, we got Jabbar Muhammad, 82 speed with 82 man and zone and press, like just 82s across the board, right? Very well-rounded player, 5'10", so a little bit smaller, but will be able to play in any scheme that you really want to run. Then at last, we have Jamari Harris, who again comes in a little bit closer to that like 50K mark, but 82 speed, pretty much 82s across the board, but he really cannot play man very well. He is 6'1" though, and I think in zone having bigger cornerbacks is better. So if you're running a zone scheme, I would definitely lean towards Jamari Harris. Now moving to free safety, we've got Gunnar Maldonado as our first pick, going for about 25K with 81 zone, 82 speed at 6 foot. I think it's a solid card, man. 25K, gonna get an instant plug and play starter. I think, again, a very, very solid option. Then we're also gonna have Bryce Anderson here. 82 speed, 81 man and zone. So again, it's very fluid, can play both, you know, essentially schemes, whatever you want to run. With 81 hit power coming in at 6 foot, very, very solid option. And then our last pick, because we have no 50 to 100K free safeties, is going to be Rod Moore, 82 speed, 80 zone, a little bit lower on the man, but 6 foot, 198, decent hit power, right? I think this card is very good. This card is very similar to his like base card that he has, but it just has better tackling and better hit power from what I saw, right? So I think this Rod Moore, very, very solid option. And then moving now to strong safety, you guys know I love this Ransaw card. He plays on my team, my no money spent team. We packed him. 83 speed with 80 hit power. I think this Caleb Ransaw is phenomenal. Going to be towards the top of that 0 to 50K range, sitting between generally 40 to 50K, but a very, very good card at this point in the year. And we've got Billy Bowman Jr., who is definitely not going to be like a downhill strong safety, But 82 speed with 82 man and zone along with 82 hit power. He is a little bit short, but definitely someone that can patrol the middle of the field as a user very, very well. 82 change of direction man, like very solid option here for about 30,000 coins. Coming to the 50 to 100k range, we've got Donovan McMillan, man. This card looks kind of crazy. 82 speed, 6'2", 205, right? Not great man or zone, pretty good hit power, pretty solid change of direction. I would recommend you guys user this card. 6'2" is a great height to user a card at. You're gonna be able to like play on a lot of stuff, right? So definitely recommend picking this card up. Again, on that like lesser range of the 50 to 100k, you actually can get down to like 45k. Very solid option here. Coming in around 57,000 coins, we've got Bo Freiler, 81 zone, but 83 speed, 6'2", with 82 change of direction, man. I think this is a great card for 57k. Really good hit power. You're going to be a very rangy safety. Again, very, very good user. And then coming in at 63,000 coins, we've got Lathan Ransom. 83 zone, 83 speed, 6'1". This is actually a guy I would probably put in the back of my defense and let him just be rangy, right? 83 speed's very fast. 83 change of direction, very fast. Would be a very fun user for 61k, right? So like, again, really, really solid card for not that much coins. I mean, yeah, this is the last player that we've got on the list, ladies and gents. I do hope you did enjoy this video. Let me know if you guys have got any of these players, right? Have you tried any of them out? Are you gonna try some of them out because of this video? It really helps me to get an understanding of, right, like, hey, did I miss anybody as well? That is always huge. If I did miss somebody, please drop it in the comment section below because there are cards that I just will miss. By you guys dropping that in the comment section, it helps other people that are no money spent or don't have a lot of coins to be able to make their teams better, right? And that's what we want. We want to help people make their teams better. So I do hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, please drop a like, subscribe, comment. Let me know what you guys want to see in the next video. I love you all. Have a great rest of your day. Peace.